Madam Conference Chair, ladies and gentlemen, health and safety. I'm not going to wear this hat any longer because it's not very comfortable. It's one of those topics that we all have something to say about, a story to tell. And it's one of those things that changes modern life. I mean, there was a group down south in Devon somewhere that decided it was too expensive and too much health and safety to put on a real bonfire for Guy Fawkes last year. So they installed a very large video screen and showed a film of a fire, just in case anyone got burned. But the reason I bring up this topic of health and safety is not to kind of pick holes in the situation. There is a valid reason for health and safety. They say health and safety is about common sense. Well, the trouble is, there's not always a lot of it about. And the reason I do bring this up is I met a friend recently who I hadn't seen for quite a while. His name is Roger. And I met him, I saw him when he was waiting for a cab at the time. And so we had a chat. And now Roger's a lovely guy. I met him a few years ago when I was renovating my house. I was looking for a brickie at the time because I was doing some building work. And Roger's name was given to me. And so he came around and we got on really well together. And I met him for a while. He was a really nice chap. And I was doing various things in the house. So he was quite interested in talking to me. One day he phoned me up and said, look, I've got a job round the corner. Do you think you could come and have a look? And the thing was, he had a problem with the gutter. And it was very high up. So I said, yeah, okay, I'll come and have a look. So I turned up and the scaffolding was in place. And I met him in the garden. And I said, well, he's right there. So I said, all right. So I said, well, where's the ladder? And he said, well, it's just round the back. So we went round the back to the scaffolding. And normally with scaffolding, you put a ladder here and a ladder here and a ladder here. But not Roger. He just put a ladder from the bottom to the top. I mean, we're talking infinity up here. It was a long way up. And I had just turned up in a jacket. I'd been out. I had a jacket on. I had the wrong shoes. But climbed this ladder. We got to the top. Anyway, there's this staging. And Roger's been very industrious. What he's done, he's put a beam in. He's got a nice pulley on the beam, so he's pulling stuff up so we can bring it up to the bottom, up to the top. But I goes, well, how do we get to the next bit, Roger? And he goes, oh, it's up there. So how do you get up there? He said, oh, it's easy, you climb the bar. And he leapt out into free space and clambered up the bars onto the top of this roof space. I'm not doing that. So he's no, I'm not doing that, Roger. I don't mind the going up, it's the going down a bit quick I'm not keen on. Anyway, that's Roger for you. So that kind of thing. Anyway, as I said, I saw him a few weeks ago and he wasn't looking too well. He says, oh, I've been a bit rough, he says. He says, oh, what happened? He says, you know my mum had that house on the west coast? He said, oh yeah, I remember you talking about it. He said, yeah, well, there are a lot of storms over there, and a bit of storm damage. And he said, I went over there to have a look. And he said, so I went up on the roof, and it was really damaged, and it needed quite a lot of work. So I put a beam in and a pulley. And he says, and then I realised I need some bricks. I got a couple of barrels of bricks up on the roof. I said, I fixed the roof, fine. But then he said, I had a few barrels of bricks left up there. He said, so I went back down again to the bottom, he said, and I pulled the barrow up to the top. And I loaded it with bricks. Then I went back down the bottom again, he said, and when I unhooked the rope, he says, it snatched me a bit. And he says, I kind of thought I'd hold on. He said, and the barrel was rather heavy and it came down rather fast and I took off the ground. And I said, and I held on. Yeah. And he says, and I met the barrel on the way up. Kind of hit me in the shoulder. Oh, it sounds really hard. He says, yeah, he said, but I carried on past the barrel. Right. And I hit my head on the beam. And jammed my fingers in the pulley. Oh, Roger. He said, yeah, it's all right. He says, but the barrel hit the ground with a loud bang. I said, oh, right. He says, yeah, and it split. Then I was heavier than the barrel. And it started coming up. And I started going down. Anyway, we met in the middle, and it hit me on the shins. Oh, Roger. Yeah, it's all right. He says, I came handling and I landed on the bricks. Oh, God. He says, yeah, I lost it a bit then. Well, what happened? He said, well, I let go of the rope. Oh! He says, you had the barrel landed on top of me. I said, you're okay? He says, yeah, I'm good now. I said, I'm good. And I says, so how did it get better? He says, well, it took a long time to get better. I said, no, they wouldn't give me sick leave either. Well, I said, God, it was a bit self-inflicted. He says, yeah, I suppose so. He says, no, I've got a new job now. I said, what you got? He said, it's a good job. Well, what are you doing? I'm working for the council. Ah, what are you doing? Health and safety.